Hello everyone, welcome to the 50th? Is it 50th? 50th episode of the Friendlyjordies podcast.
Oh, what a celebration.
Yeah.
We have nothing good for that in store. We didn't think about that.
Yeah, we should.
Sorry.
Anyway, I'm Tom, we've got Jordan here,
Yep.
and we've got Robbie here.
Hello.
And we've also got a special guest, Ben. Hey, Ben.
Hi, hello. Hello, everyone.
When we might have another special guest, but she's hours late. It's a Snapchat girl from Pedestrian who's meant to be Snapchatting us all day, but she's not here, so that might happen.
Her two responses to us was, I'll be in there in 20 minutes. Yay! And then there was a 4-hour gap, and then she just wrote, Yay! Again.
Yeah, so we're talking lots of stuff today, but mainly we're talking Donald Trump.
Trump edition today.
Yeah, the Trump edition. So Ben goes out with a friend of ours who works on the channel, and she came to us once and was just like, yeah, so my boyfriend, like, he's, you know, like he's actually like a massive Trump supporter, and
To which we said, oh, we gotta get him on the pod.
Yep.
well, initially we just said, no, that you're bullshitting, there's no way. And then
Yeah, after I showed my swastika tattoo, this came around, then
yeah, we realized he was legitimate. So he is a legitimate Trump supporter, which a lot of people might find surprising, but we're going to try and have an actual talk about Trump without just degrading him, and trying to actually like chat about it.
Yeah, we're gonna look at the policies, not the man. However, because it's Trump, we will inevitably be looking at the man a
they're
lot.
pretty much linked, I think, at this point. Like, he has 5 positions, and like pretty much why people like him, they're speculating on his character and what he would actually do. Like,
But before we get into it,
we've got a couple of favourites that we're doing today. One of them is called Dare We Smile? And
Yes.
this one is basically, I mean, it's a recurring segment, but if you're new to the show, it's where we choose songs and things that aren't nostalgic. So, for instance, the Bee Gees, Mozart, that's a little bit too old, and too new would be something that's on the radio right now. But
Yes.
there's a little sweet zone there, maybe in the late noughties, where there were big songs that have now become forgotten, and when you hear them again, hey, guess what? You might have a little smile come on your face.
sounds like play school, this intro.
Especially because there was a very distinct, forthright message from a loyal listener that said, hey guys, you know what I really want to hear again? You guys explaining Dare We Smile in thorough detail. Clearly sarcastic about it. So that one's just for you, mate.
All right, so we're going to go around the circle. We'll start with...
And the scoring system is 2.5 points for plums and 10 points for mangoes. And what we're going to do now is we're going to start with the songs. Should we? Songs?
Okay.
always-
that
are we
is
doing
also
two?
part of the tradition, is always saying that the songs go first when, comically, they go second.
I don't have another one, but yeah. Okay, let's go.
Okay, well, so we'll start with Tom then, as he's just
Will we?
admitted that he doesn't have one.
Okay.
So let's just,
We'll go with Tom.
as vultures, pick off the weak ones.
So song?
Song first.
No, damn, for Christ's sakes. We're going with the other one, the one that isn't song.
Oh, this is-
the non-musical one goes
It's a
first.
very funny misunderstanding, isn't it?
Okay. Cuba Gooding Jr.
Oh, for God's sake, you
I
get
just
no
came up
plums
with
or
it. I
mangoes.
didn't think about it at all.
Yeah, and it's very obvious, Tom.
Okay, I'm going to have to give that... Look, I mean, you've got to give something one plum.
Thank
One
you.
plum.
Ben, do you give that anything? Did that put a smile on your face, being reminded of Cuba Gooding Jr.?
Come on.
no, I don't even know the original source.
Do you not know Cuba Gooding Jr.?
No, well, like, this helps if we
Oh.
have the song first, doesn't it? If we...
Sorry, he's not a singer.
So we do a song and we do a person or thing that is also in that kind
Oh,
of
so
period.
it's not even a song that
No.
Cuba... What
No,
is it?
he's an actor.
He's an actor.
He's Show Me the Money. You know,
Wow,
from
that just
Jerry
shows
Maguire.
my lack of knowledge of this subject. I'm sorry,
Pop
guys.
culture.
That's all right. Sorry. That's
Sorry.
fine. No,
It's not your fault, Ben.
No,
It's Tom's.
It's understandable that we didn't lay that up for you well enough. But so now, do we do your song, or should we do
No,
another?
now we do
Now we do
Jordan.
Jordan's thing.
How have you
Done this
forgotten
1,000
this
times.
song? I mean, this show that much.
That's okay. Let's just keep it rolling. All right. So Jordan's thing.
You're really impervious to criticism today, aren't you, Robbie? You just can't handle it, can you?
Let's keep barreling through episode 50. Let's do it.
All right. So here's my idea: Hercules, the series, not the animated series, the live-action one.
Yeah, I reckon that's nostalgic.
So you just think it's a great show. No smile from you. You legitimately would watch that now.
No, I wouldn't legitimately watch it. I'll give you a plum. Yeah, there you go.
I really felt I deserved more than that, but okay.
That's really quite scathing, given your hesitation. Anyway,
God, it puts everyone in a bad mood, doesn't it? Except for the guest. The guest usually likes it, but Ben clearly doesn't.
No, I'm just
no, this
lost
game,
and confused here.
this game is not rubbing you the right way, is it, Ben?
All right, Ben, what's yours? You have to say a person or a thing or a movie or anything.
And if you don't have one,
besides a
the
song.
best suggestion I have for you is blurt something out and pray to God that,
That I get a mango for it. Nostalgic and
Okay, so we're going to give you some more time to think about that, Robbie.
Let's not kill this whole thing. I'll say Goulburn Valley apricots.
No. That's
No,
awful.
that made me smile.
Because it's the way he said it. Because he said apricot instead of apricot.
Hey,
In fact, I didn't even pick up on that, Robbie. I was going to give you a plum, but you just earned a mango.
Oh,
What? That's not how you play.
I got mine now. Who remembers this show?
He doesn't want to score it. He just wants to say his view.
Well, I don't even know the significance. What is this metric you use? It
Just say you lied, who cares?
who remembers Monchi cheese?
What's a monchichi?
Oh, it was like this TV show. It's the theme song was fantastic. It went like high up in the trees lived the Monchichis, chi Monchichis, Monchichis. But the interesting thing about it is they were in this like eternal war with like the gremlins who looked exactly like the Monchichis, except they were like of a grayer color, and the Monchichis lived in this beautiful.
So it was a
uproot-
racial divide.
Yes, it was. But it was quite horrible and revealing. Oh, is that the?
Oh,
yeah, it's fine.
I think we're good. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, mate. Yeah, we're all good. Sorry, I should have said.
Sorry, a technician just came in and asked if the microphones are fine. They're not, but we're recording now, so there's nothing really we can
Thank
do
you,
about
FBI,
it.
for the studio.
Yes.
And thanks as always for making it as difficult as possible to get anything on the air. Thank you.
I will have to say, I'm going to give that, even though I didn't know, I reckon he's on the money there with what he's chosen.
Yeah, I'll mango
So
it.
I'll give you a mango for that, my boy.
3 mangoes, that's 30 points.
Oh.
But think about that for you two. How bad yours were that I didn't even know of his, and he got a better point score than both of you.
Wow.
How dare you, Tom? You got nothing. You got no score at all.
All right, let's
Where
move
is
on
this
to the
going?
song, so that's where I'll make my comeback. Robbie, you go first.
I don't know if you will, but anyway, here it is.
This is yours.
This is Tom's.
Okay.
Okay.
You screwed it. Scissor Sisters, that was in the period of time that we're talking about.
Look, I will give
Tom?
you credit in that it was a good pick, like just in the general sense, but I feel like it's just too ubiquitous.
It's just once again highlighting the problem with this game where it's not about picking the right thing, it's just about whether Jordan and Robbie, what they might think about it, who knows. It's just like saying, I'll say a word, and if they think it's a funny word, like apricot, then it's funny, but anything
Pretty
else...
funny word.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ben.
But it's not about that, is it? It's not about the word being funny.
Okay,
No,
how about you shut up for a second and Jordan, you score it.
Yeah. Tom, your rad is perfectly exemplified by my opinion of this. I don't think it's ubiquitous enough. So I'm giving it 2 plums. I'm giving
thank you.
I thought it was
Thank you, Jordan.
so we can add
Look,
more
I hate the
plums
man,
on.
but I love
Yeah,
the
you can
player.
put whatever
You
you
can put
want.
as many plums as you want, as
Okay.
many mangoes. Look, the
All right.
rules are extremely loose for this game.
All right, Jordan's turn.
Okay, yep, go for it.
This rating system is just awful, isn't it? We don't really stick to it, but this
Don't bring the mood down.
Okay, this is Jordan's pick.
Yeah, that's good. Perfect. That was something Lee from Australian Idol. What was his name?
Lee Harding
Lee
there with
Harding.
wasabi.
Nice. Yeah, I'll give you a mango for it because he followed the rules.
Interesting side note. My girlfriend's Asian, right? You would assume, doesn't matter where she is from in Asia, you would assume that she would know what wasabi is. However, she grew up in the Shire, and that overrides thousands of years of genetic programming. She didn't know what wasabi was
No way.
until that song came on video hits. That's how she learned what it
Is
is.
wasabi just isn't it just in Japan?
Yeah, but like, don't you think that you should? I mean, if I know what wasabi is, she should know what wasabi is. She's geographically closer to Japan than I am. Surely.
Oh, just. I guess she is just, yeah.
Just.
I reckon that's probably a fair enough sort of weird thing to have occurred.
Yeah, it's weird, but I just mean like, it's just like anyone else. But yeah, sure, yeah.
Okay. Well, isn't this just a mishmash array of opinions?
I know.
Robbie, what's yours?
Why do you hate this so much? Why do you hate this so much?
Yeah, it really is, Tom. He's orchestrated
sorry,
this.
but-
You architect of destruction.
It's just really annoying when I know that the Dare We Smile formula and you follow it and then you just get nothing. It's just, it's awful.
All right, this is Ben's pick.
He's got it.
It's good.
Got it. Okay, I've smiled mango. Another mango for Ben.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'll give him a mango. That's pretty good.
I will as well.
60 points to Ben. Can't even remember what anyone else got. All we did was snipe each other to the point that we just completely denigrated anyone's picks.
And what's yours, Robbie?
And mine is...
Oh, this is nice.
Yeah,
That's
pretty good,
nice.
It's nice, but it's not mango nice. 3 plums.
Yeah, half a plum. Just for
3.5
just for your
plums for Robbie.
I'm going to do some nice mango redistribution and I'll give you a mango.
yes, thank you.
Proving that karma exists. Sort of. Neither Tom or I got a mango.
Okay, now we're going to go on to a segment called What's Back, which is basically just before we started, we were talking about how some things it's basically Dare We Smile again. Where I was trying to say, what were we talking about? We're talking about Donald Trump and Arnold Schwarzenegger. If you listen to all the pods, there was a pod at some point where we talked about who is better, Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone? No, The Rock. Arnold Schwarzenegger or The Rock. And Jordan is passionate in his love of Schwarzenegger.
And Tom is a huge proponent of The Rock. Nonetheless, he forgot that he was arguing about The Rock while explaining this.
But yeah,
the
point
he loves The Rock. That's the point.
No, the point is that Schwarzenegger, I feel, isn't funny anymore because he's been so... Like, he's so popularized. Like, so many jokes have been done. Like, get to the chopper. Like, just too much stuff.
Still a classic.
Yeah, like, you can't laugh at... you can't laugh at that stuff anymore because it's just been so overdone. But The Rock hasn't been done at all properly yet. Like, he has been a little bit, but not enough to be, like, Schwarzenegger level.
I think, like, especially on his Instagram, it seems as if he's not as aware of how much of a joke he is. Whereas Schwarzenegger, for instance, I think on Snapchat, he released a video where he was going to get to the chopper or something like that.
When you start doing ads for realestate.com in Australia, you're going to have to accept it. You're a joke.
Yeah, but then that carries on to other things. So, what are things that you think are just too lame? So we're saying, like in Step Brothers, if you the film Step Brothers, a lot of people quote that still, where they'll say,
"This wedding is horse shit."
Like it's just lame. Like you can't use that as a thing. Or in Zoolander, being like, what is this, a center for ants? Like it's too lame.
To be honest, though, I will actually combat you on that latter one. I reckon center for ants. I reckon it's back.
I really don't think it is. I think it's been used too much. But again, this is why it's pretty much the same segment as Dare We Smile, except with this twist that I just thought of. Mangoes are worth 2.5 points. Plums are worth 10. Go.
Oh, damn.
Okay, so my one was the Dr. Evil the pinky to the mouth is something which is, it's now back. That's funny again, because that used to be really lame, but now if you do a little Dr. Evil face.
However, interesting
funny
backstory to this. Tom was originally explaining that he thinks that that's no longer funny. It's too lame to say. Then I started giggling at it and he goes, I suppose you're right. I'm going to use that as my example in this segment.
It was me and you, 'cause we are gonna be.
Hey guys, we're back. Carolyn is here from Pedestrian, Snapchatting us, so that's why we had to stop for a second.
She doesn't have a microphone, but just shout, say hello.
Hey, what's up?
We're good. Thanks so much
Excellent.
for being here.
Great input, Carolyn. Seeing as you don't have a microphone, just don't do that again. All right, so let's continue with this extremely poorly explained segment. Really glad that Carolyn came here because Ben didn't understand what we're doing at this point. And now he's up to speed.
Yeah.
We're not going to explain it to you, the audience. Just try and catch up.
All right. What's yours, Robbie?
We
We were never going to make this into a game, were we? Was it just a discussion?
it's not. It actually, you're correct. In that way, actually, I guess the rating system sort of goes out the window, doesn't it? If it's just a discussion.
I guess so, but I thought that it would be a nice addition. But
make
seeing
it
as
good.
both of you guys don't think that, neither do I.
Oh, no, we can do it.
Cool.
All right, I don't know. We don't know what this is, but I'll just say for my one, I guess that slappa the best man, slappa. I reckon it's gone. That one, okay.
That
I
is
reckon
cool
that
again.
is gone through the. I mean, that one's an avant-garde one, I'd say, because that really is sitting on the fringe of potentially still utterly lame, but. I reckon it's just peeping out.
I don't think that at all.
You don't think so?
Yeah, I
You
think
don't
it's still very lame. No, it's still very lame. I reckon air guitaring is cool, but I don't think the slap
see,
in
that
the
was a
bass.
reference to the last podcast, if anyone listening to that.
Jordan.
Yeah, so no plums or mangoes for you. Robbie.
Right, okay.
Zero
I'll also
points.
hold
We
the
learned
Centre France
something,
one.
didn't we?
I'll do the Centre France one as well, so that's maybe a plum.
Yeah, I have a plum.
Okay.
All right. Jordan?
Jordan.
Okay, guys, to set you the scene. Billy Madison, biggest movie of all time. Probably beats Gone with the Wind, I'd say. It's up there as a classic. It's aired on Channel 10 even more than Kevin Costner's Waterworld. That's got to say something. It's definitely their most aired movie of all time. You would think that because it's such a tapped resource that nothing from it works anymore. I'm here to tell you it does.
What?
Okay?
It's your line.
Very big send up. Get ready for this. You know when he puts the flaming dog shit on that guy's porch, and then he stomps on it, and then he calls it poop, and then Billy Madison says, "Oh my god, he called the shit poop."
It's not even... Is that a well-known quote?
I haven't seen the film.
Ben, what do you reckon? Is it well-known?
No, like you'd have to like
is.
read the script to like to extrapolate that. Like,
Or just watch it heaps on Channel 10. I mean, we all have. How is this not a known thing?
It's like...
no, that's
Can
not
I get a
something you
do-over?
quote with your friends at school afterwards. It's like you called the shit poop. It's
Yeah, you couldn't bring that up in conversation and someone would be like, oh, Billy Madison. Like, you wouldn't... Do you reckon that's a thing? If
The
you
only-
did that to us just then, would we? Should we know that reference?
Clearly not. Guys, no, I think we've just got a really bizarre sample here. It's kind of just like we've asked everyone from Hawaii, what do you think about Alaska? It's just the wrong temperament. You guys you're not right for this. Clearly not Billy Madison fans. More of a Happy Gilmore audience, are we? Huh?
Big Daddy.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Yeah, that was your
Mr.
first
Deeds.
one.
Mr. Deeds.
Yeah. I'm a Mr.
actually,
Deeds,
I
yeah.
liked Mr. Deeds a lot.
Yeah, yeah,
Gotta
yeah.
love
And
it.
who could forget his absolute best movie of all time, Spanglish?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. Ben, do you have one? Do you have
Oh,
one?
absolutely not. I don't really.
Okay.
So we gave you very little warning about this.
We
so-
did. Carolyn?
Yes.
Do you have any funny things to say?
Do you think that there's something that like used to be a big joke that everyone would repeat at school and it got really tiring? Now, because it's so old and overdone and been forgotten for a while, it's good.
Oh my god, well anything Adam Sandler related.
Yeah. In fact, even just the movie title, You Don't Mess with the Zohan.
Yeah, that's good.
Primo.
I'm an apologist
about
for that film. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I didn't mind that. Everyone hated that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's also my feelings towards Trump, is that I feel as though he's now been over-joked about.
We'll get to that, Tom,
That's a
but
bit of a
what's your
segue,
line?
isn't it?
Yeah, no, it would
no,
be a
no,
segue
it's
if
not.
it was the right segment to go to,
I'll
which it isn't.
I'll try and segue. Look, another opinion-based one here. We are talking about Aziz Ansari last week. We were sort of Jordan Pandem as being, what did you say, hack, idiot? What did you say?
No, I said he's lamer than air guitar.
Lamer than air guitar.
If you agreed that Aziz was bad, you had to put up a picture of Fitzy and Whipper. Not a lot of pictures of Fitzy and Whipper. Many, many pictures of people aghast at the stunner deal at Hungry Jack's. So many people, therefore, agree that Aziz is a great comedic piece. So, here's our question to you this week. If you had to kill one of them, if you had to kill Aziz Ansari or Seal. Robbie, have you got a piece of his work to show the audience? No, he doesn't. He's going to quickly Google it.
Yeah, I do. Look, this.
Well, I would definitely kill Aziz. Actually, maybe not. He's maybe got more to offer now. Seal's past his time of, offering anything.
You're going to kill that man.
Yeah, I guess actually. I just changed my mind.
No, that seems like that is not even a crime, a man crime. It's also like a crime against art to do that, I reckon.
To kill Seal.
I mean, like, the man is extremely ugly, but clearly has a great soul.
But
you can't kill someone like that.
He's already produced his art, though.
Yeah.
So, like, now he's irrelevant as a person. Like, he's not going to produce any more songs.
Well, Aziz is writing shows. He's making
Very
stuff.
mechanical way of looking at this. I'm saying that, like, just the fact that he got to that level. Aziz has never contributed anything of remote artistic goodness to the planet.
I know this segment was meant to be a thing where we, like, clarify that Aziz sucks and that Seal's even better than Aziz.
Really designing it.
But it hasn't happened like that, has it?
Robbie, please don't get on the bandwagon. You're a fan of music. You love music. You can't do this to me.
I've got to put away Aziz. I've got to do away with it.
Thank you. For God's sakes, he's got to go.
He does. I mean, Seal, he's a strong man. He's been through a lot. Aziz, what is he? He's got a funny nephew, does he?
Yeah.
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 Can I say something about Aziz?
If you shout it,
Microphone.
shout it.
Okay. His
Or just come over here.
Because otherwise it would be funny.
Oh, okay.
But, like,
No, that's all right.
his comedy is basically sort of mentioning...
Yeah, when you come
Relationship.
over to the microphone, you have to talk into the microphone. But just now that we're all clarified, go ahead, Caroline.
Carolyn.
No, but
My
Aziz basically takes, like, the same joke, reformatted a lot of different times, and then says things like, no.
Yeah, it would be like, I'm tweaking,
at
I'm
the end of
tweaking.
each joke. And then just restructures it and mentions Kanye West and Jay-Z a couple times in each of his jokes, and that's like the basis of his comedy.
So you'd
And
kill
you
him?
want to... Yeah, okay. Carolyn,
Who are you
get
gonna
us a bite.
kill?
Who are you going to kill out of Seal or Aziz?
Well,
You had to kill
Seal sounds really cute and fluffy, like, seals.
Have you not heard of Seal?
I was born in the
Why
90s.
you don't have a mic? What are you talking about?
He's
You've never heard of
anything but
Seal.
fluffy with his skin condition.
He's a very disfigured man.
Do you actually not know who Seal is?
He's like Elephant Man
I've heard
effect.
the name
Okay, that's a bit
before.
of fun.
Surely you've heard this song. If I can just sing an extract. Baby, I compare you to a kiss from a rose on the ground.
Oh, yeah, that song.
Yeah.
And you want him to live or die?
Yeah, so Aziz dies.
Aziz dies.
That is pedestrians' official stance on the issue. They want to kill Aziz. Monsters.
Jesus Christ, that is dark.
All right, now we've got through all the sloppy stuff, and we're going to get to the good stuff, which is Trump talk.
Oh, just before we go on to the Trump talk, in defense of Aziz, I actually thought his in Funny People, his character in that, like Randy, I thought that was actually legitimately funny.
Yeah, he's
like
got
that
one
movie a lot.
character that
Yeah.
he does all right.
And I'm pretty sure he didn't
Stop
create it
selling
by
out
himself.
Madison Square Garden for stand-up because
Yeah.
you're good at playing a nerd.
All right, I'm here to be the contrarian, all right, Jordan, for fuck's sake.
Okay, and if the audience listening,
We've done that, mate, haven't we?
if you'd like to save Seal, please put the photo of Rocco's modern life turtle, and if you'd like to save
His
Aziz,
turtle friend.
his turtle friend.
Yep.
And if you'd like to save Aziz, put a photo of Mitre 10. That's in. It's either in Blacktown or the closest suburb.
We haven't done any research, and as usual, we're going to get you to do it. You have to find where the closest Mitre 10 is to Blacktown and post a picture of that. We're not going to do that.
All right,
Thanks.
so Donald Trump making waves. So I think it's a really common thing that you'll hear is... So this is a good example. When we were having dinner the other night, Ben, Robbie and I and Ben's girlfriend and a lot of, like, a very hipster crowd, you could say. Would you agree, Ben? Quite a hipster group.
Yeah, I'd say so.
It's very common. I bet you hear this all
It's
the
a
time.
huge understatement. I'd imagine that your group of friends has orgies.
A couple of our friends do have orgies, yes.
It's a very hipster thing to do. I've realised this over
Yeah,
time.
how
It's
is
like
that?
polyamory has become quite popular.
Vegan orgies.
Vegan orgies, that's right as well.
It's no animal blood.
I don't know. It's
All Christian female lesbian vegan orgies.
What the?
it's all it's like ketamine as well. They just love it. Oh, like I stay out of it. I've been in a stable relationship for like 5 years, and it's just like I'm in
really don't
Sodom and
fit into
Gomorrah.
this world, do you,
I
Ben?
don't. That's why I'm so reactionary, Jordan. I used to be liberal. Until they changed what liberal was. Now liberal is just strange and confusing to me. All right, like
So yeah, the point was.
want the family
If I were
unit
you,
back
if I
now,
were
yeah.
you, I would be an adamant Trump supporter as well,
yeah.
just to rebel against this.
yeah.
These charlatans.
I guess it's like the youthful rebel in me to like rebel against the norm, but like in my existence, that this. Vegan orgies is the norm, so like I rebel in my own special way. All right,
But the way I thought you were acting, Ben, was that it's just it must be so frustrating to come across people, which I'm sure like some of us are guilty of just just hearing the word Donald Trump and just immediately concluding that he must be just an awful man with an awful idea, and like you shouldn't follow him, right? And that would be your entire world, I would think, because no one around you at all would agree with you.
Oh yeah, it makes me incredibly unpopular. But like,
Is it really a loss?
No, not really. Like, as you guys know, like, my girlfriend is the social one of us two, and I just kind of trail along to events.
No, Ben, you've got your own charming hermit-like quality.
So Ben,
Nonsense.
So like, a lot of people think I'm joking. I mean, you guys thought I was joking for a long time. I think even if I do explain my position as to why I like Trump because I technically can't support him because I'm not a American. I think they'll just disagree with me on a fundamental moralist level.
Well, you do it here. It's we're all ears, very primed ears that do not agree with this at all.
I suppose to start off, though, we should probably understand a little bit of your background in terms of your political views and how you've come to have such a despicable one now.
Oh dear, it's like a pathology, isn't it? Like, it's like, don't like Bernie Sanders, must have something wrong with him. I guess I was ever since I was young, I was critical of capitalism, obviously. Then kind of progressed.
Hence, Trump.
Therefore, Trump. I wouldn't say I was socialist for a while, but I did agree with the Nordic model for a little bit. Then, after I think when I was about 18 or 19, I switched to more libertarian. Then I went from just cultural libertarian in kind of like almost third way economic position. Because I fucking hate libertarians. They're just ridiculous now. They have this like
Use your explanation for them. It perfectly sums up what a libertarian is.
well, I haven't coined this, but they're mainly just autistic. Like they do not take into account like human behavior at all. They have this like perfect little logical system. It's like, oh, but it's logical. You want to be logical, don't you? Then follow libertarianism. It's just
Do you think? As much freedom as you can possibly have.
Yeah.
Just everyone's going to get along fine in that situation. You don't need cops.
oh, roads will just spontaneously form because open market. So I'll just like give you my position on economics as well, right? I'm not total socialist. I like social policies. I think the open market is efficient, is good insofar that it's efficient. I don't necessarily believe that this efficiency is good, however. Like, it's not really conducive to the good. Like, I believe there's a moral imperative that supersedes the open market dealing with healthcare, for example. But we'll get to America and healthcare a little bit later, because it's it's very expensive for America to have a healthcare policy at the moment, I believe. But we're getting a bit derailed. So, did you want me to get to why I like Trump specifically?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's like, we're done analysing me.
No, that's
in
some
my
sort of
political
base-
genealogy.
But yeah, so how did you now then come to? What did you see of Trump in the news, or when did
Yeah.
you first see him? And you're like, oh my goodness, this is my savior.
Because surely you would have seen him initially as being a bit of a joke. Like, there's no way you went into it thinking, I'm going to listen to this guy. Like, you must have thought he was funny first.
Oh, well, most certainly I was attracted to him because he was just such a shitlord. Like, he was saying the most ridiculous things. I'm like, oh, who is this guy? And I love watching the primaries because they seem so staged. And he was just such beautiful chaos in it. And then I, actually looked into his policies, specifically, and it isn't just shock.
Spoke to you.
Yeah, it resonated with me. I just like the way he's strong. No, but I looked into his policies, especially on immigration. Oh, okay, tread lightly here. And
No. Please don't. Please go all out.
well, let's check off. I purely dislike illegal immigration for economic reasons.
Really?
Yeah.
Because here's the stats that I heard. If you were to deport all the Mexicans back to Mexico, that would be of cost of $1.4 trillion in GDP to the American economy, as well
It's
as...
unfeasible, and also the need for due process. Like, the courts will be backed up for hundreds of years. Like, there's an estimated 11 million to... They don't even know the correct number. It's like 11 million, and some crazy people say to 30 million, but I think 11 million people is a
And see, this is
a
why
good
I
amount.
can't understand why you would support Trump, because his answer to that is, look, you just got to manage these things.
Well,
That's his answer to
definitely,
hundreds of years of backed court cases in the Supreme and federal courts.
Well,
you just got to manage it better.
Well, I think
not enough of a policy,
Prevention is the best cure in that regard. He'd have to get a law through that would make the actual deportation feasible.
Instantaneous.
Well, not
So he just
instantaneous.
looked
I think
mildly
Well, honestly,
Spanish.
I think there should be some form of due process, but maybe like an accelerated form. But that's coming later. I think securing the border is the imperative thing at the moment.
But why do you think that would help America's economy? Because really, they benefit from essentially what is slave labor.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And that's a huge problem in America is income inequality. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely.
It's one of the biggest problems, actually. Wealth inequality as well. It's effectively created this new form of underclass, which has it's not good for this new underclass, and it's definitely not good for the middle and lower classes already.
Yeah, true.
The African American
you can't even say it in English. It'd have to be like la underclass chutismo. It'd have to be in Spanish, right? It's all just Mexicans.
It's absolutely a horrible. I think it's just horrible, and the native population isn't benefiting from this. The only people that
Surely they are. It's pretty cheap to buy a tomato in America.
No, well, I guess in the sense of that, but when your income can't match the cost of living, then I think it's a little bit of a problem. Don't you agree?
For them.
Well, like what I'm saying,
for the vast
native-
majority of Americans,
yes,
you would imagine that most Republicans would want there to be a huge underclass.
not necessarily. For Republicans,
I don't know why they wouldn't object to that, because really that seems to be their operation.
Definitely
in
a branch
politics
of
is
the
to get
Republican
that.
Party would like that. Probably a very influential branch, but in terms of pure demographics, as in voters, a larger majority of them wouldn't vote that. Most people vote Democrat out of conservative means, and it was actually interesting on the national radio show. They're actually seriously saying that the Republican Party might break away because it's a traditional, just break up, because it's a traditional establishment has alienated this this conservative,
Tea Party.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I know they're caricatured in that way, but that is their.
But it's really unfair.
Jordan, Now you invite me onto this show, sir, for my opinion. Let me give you my opinion, sir.
Show respect, Robbie. For God's sakes, don't be a dick to him, all right?
At least look at him.
Alicia actually was trying to. We went to Robbie's gig on Mardi Gras. It was excellent, by the way. And I was trying to broker an alliance with Robbie.
Robbie, do you want to put your 2 cents in?
The
And
man that's wearing a neck brace, despite the fact he has nothing wrong with his neck, that's the one that you wanted to broker an alliance with. This mop of a joke of a man.
yeah,
Oh,
really, that's very damning on you, Ben, to think that Robbie could, in some way,
Help
be
you
an
with any
ally in this.
You
He
both.
thinks he's on vacation. That's why he's wearing a damn watch.
You both. I can turn your mics off quite easily. Okay?
All right, well, here's your opportunity. What's your 2 cents on this?
My 2 cents.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, I'll be with him on the Trump side. He, came to my gig. He's a lovely guy. He might have some slightly questionable opinions, but who cares? When we're getting such vitriol from these other Bernie people over here.
I haven't said anything.
Your silence is deafening, Tom. And I do actually have something wrong with my neck. You saw it. I fell off a basketball last week. And
Oh, get over it.
okay.
It's not that bad.
All right. Well, anyway.
He's got crutches here as well.
Yeah.
And a foot brace as well. Nothing happened to your foot.
I don't need the foot brace. You're right. I don't,
Just in case.
I don't know what's going to happen this
Well,
week.
you just think you're so accident prone, you may as well bring everything that you have that might help your bones.
Yeah.
All right, Ben,
All right.
please
Glad
continue.
we got that on the record. Sorry, man.
we'll get back to it.
So you're saying that the Republican Party might split into two?
Oh no, just completely dissolve because people like them based on their voting base just hasn't been voting for them. That's why the last election just went so terribly for them.
No, the voting base actually does vote for the Republicans.
They still vote, but they don't. I heard this good metaphor about the Republican Party. It's just pretty much they have no agenda of their own anymore. They just what a conservative does is just they're like 20 years behind the liberals. They just they put down a cone and say this is the absolutely how this is how conservative you could be. If you're past this point, then you're just unreasonable. You're a horrible racist person. So they're just seeing that their ideal of life, this American ideal of small town, we all know each other, and I think it's legitimate for them to maintain their culture. This has just been slowly eroded away by bigger and bigger government. Now, I know you like your big government.
Do you honestly believe that the Republicans serve big government?
Republicans serve the Democrats, you mean?
So what are you saying about these traditional values?
The government party does not care about any of the social policies, and the Republican Party doesn't care about any of these social policies anymore. They're just they have no agenda of their own anymore. They're just
because they're pretty much. Would you agree that they're pretty much hand and foot puppets of corporate interests?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So the Republican voting base recognizes this. This is why they're so disenfranchised. That's why the Tea Party spawned, and people just didn't vote.
So they think that corporate interest is less of an evil than big government.
Going from I don't necessarily believe with this, but this is how a libertarian would argue it. It's like it's not free market, it's corporatism. That's what they would say. They'd say the special concessions from that big government gives to certain companies, they quote Monsanto in this, and the FDA creates artificial monopolies and is against actual free market competition.
See, to me then, I would be doing everything I could not to vote for those assholes.
Yeah, I know. That's why Trump is so popular. Because he's not seen to be part of those assholes.
I don't see how he's not, though, because he says, as soon as my cabinet's in, I'm getting the smartest guys on Wall Street. They're going to be my advisors. I'm going to say, Don, you just take care of Japan. Ricky, you take care of China. You won't have to worry about it from then on. It's over. Boom. That's his foreign policy in a nutshell. That actually is what he says in his speeches.
He does say these things, and it's hard to defend that point because You don't need to laugh at me, Jordan.
No. I'm
I am
laughing at you. I'm
quite on
just laughing
equal
at the thing
footing.
of just going like,
Well, no, but like I'm
Really?
sure he says something. I haven't personally. I know that he said I'm going to get the smartest people. I haven't really heard the rest of.
But he does say that these people reside in Wall
Oh
Street.
yes. But
So-
we don't really know about their character or whether they will have conflicts of interest, however, and favour certain companies.
I would imagine they
If you say
would,
Wall
if they're
Street,
from
wouldn't
Wall
it
Street.
suggest?
Well, yes. Well, I mean, there's a lot of people in Wall Street, though. I'm not.
Yeah, but that would suggest like a corporate interest, right? Like that.
I would say that they have like a Reaganomics growth ideal.
Yep.
But like that wouldn't necessarily mean that they support any form of cronyism. They could be ideologically against cronyism as well.
I really don't think they would be.
I think this is a little bit ridiculous to have this conversation because now we're just speculating on individual characters, even though we don't know who they are.
Come on.
Huh?
You can tell what kind of culture that is. You
Well, like
know that they're
I
going to
admit
be
there is
awful human
certainly
beings if they're
culture,
from
but
there.
like I cannot blanketly say that they all support cronyism. Like I don't.
Come on, like really, after the global financial collapse, who was taken to jail? No one. Despite the fact that they pretty much found out that virtually anyone that was part of a big bank was guilty in the higher echelons.
Have you seen The Big Short?
The Big Short.
Yeah.
Oh no, I haven't. Isn't
It's good.
Robbie? Was that helping my point, or was it?
No,
Yeah, but he's on your side.
Do you know what?
He's on your side.
My alliance I broke is just working against
No,
me
no.
now.
What's
going on,
My
Robbie?
auxiliary faction is just turned against the main army now.
I'm sorry, Ben. I'm purely bringing up. Hey, it's a great piece of art. That's all I'm saying. The point might not be so right, but you know what I mean. Good movie.
Good movie.
Sorry, Dal. What? Yeah, what? We just got people coming in. Anyway, great film. See it. Big Short. Okay, Jordan. What were you saying? Sorry.
Something about cronyism.
Okay.
Right. So, why? Okay. So, why do you think that Donald Trump would be able to handle the economy better than any of the other candidates?
In regards to say Bernie or Hillary, or within regards to other Republican Party members?
I'd imagine in general.
Oh, in general. I got his tax plan here. His tax plan is actually very, very it's very underdeveloped, I would have to admit. But then again, well, yeah. I'll go to the reasons why I like Trump personally. I'm just explaining why the voter base likes him so much at the moment.
Right. Okay. Right.
His tax plan at the moment is to split it into 4 brackets where effectively 50% of the population doesn't pay tax at all. He's lowering capital gains tax to 15% to 20%, 20% for a business and 15% for personal, I think. I need to check that again. That might be a bit wrong, but there's 15 and 20% bracket, which makes...
And how is he going to cover it?
Beg your pardon?
How is he
Sorry.
going to cover the lost revenue?
Well, it will incentivize the theory behind it. Incentivize companies to reinstate their headquarters in America and stop corporate and disincentivize corporate inversion.
Right. And the other thing that he's doing is he wants to put, I think, from memory, a 35% tariff on Chinese imports.
I don't think you can do that anyway
Exactly.
because
You can't.
there's going to be such like a strong legal process. But he hasn't. Like I don't know. I'm not necessarily against protectionistion. Because
No, neither have I.
As I
It's
said,
unlike tariffs, but
yeah.
well, I
they
don't know, there's
can't do it.
arguments
They've
against
signed
them, but-
they've signed so many things against
no,
putting tariffs
it is
on.
impossible
like,
to do it.
yeah.
It is both illegal, and on
Yeah.
top of that, even if it was legal, that just means that China would put tariffs on their imports
Yeah,
as well,
yeah.
and that would be
It'd just be
far
tit for tat.
more of an effect on America than
Yeah,
it would be
yeah.
on China.
So yeah, what do you reckon about these things? How there'll be some stuff that makes heaps of sense, and then there'll be one thing which just seems ridiculous and like impossible to do. And there seems to be like a few of those things with Trump.
I mean, I love it, but like the wall, for instance.
Yeah, like how do you kind of respond to that? Like
more
where
than feasible to do.
More than feasible.
Oh, absolutely. He doesn't even need to get the Mexican government to pay for it. He just needs to tax remittance by, like, say, 30%, and he pays for it within 3 years.
Never heard of that before, but
Well, like, as I said, no major news publication will publish. It's like, it is actually feasible. Still hate Trump though, but it is feasible though.
they were saying that it is feasible, but is it even useful to begin with?
Building a
Because
wall.
You can't.
I mean,
First of all, like, you can dig under a wall, you can make little holes in the wall. You'd still have to pay for.
it's going to
huge
be a
amounts of
Trump
security
branded
around it.
wall though. Well, no, like he's also
And also his answer to why he can build a wall as well is, I built some beautiful towers over the world. I can build the best wall.
Well,
how is building a wall that is like
building walls
thousands of kilometers long?
has been historically quite effective in keeping unwanted people out.
Has it? The Great Wall of China didn't really do that. Like, it was
I
just
think
kind of the Mongols just went along anyway, like through parts where they were still building it, and they were going, "Wait, just come back in 200 years when we're done."
What about Hastings Wall in England?
Hastings Wall
That was more of a
was
symbolic
effective
wall,
while the Roman Empire was able to militarily defend it. You can't just put up a wall and people go, "Oh, it's too hard. You'd have to build a ladder." And
Oh no,
you
no,
have to
no.
still
But
police
he's
the
also,
wall.
I think, one of the. He's also going to expand the immigration customs enforcement by 3 times to 15,000 employees, and border protection is still there.
I don't understand the expense in his mind behind this. Like, it's first of all extremely damaging to America's economy to do this.
Well,
First point.
why is that though?
Because if you get rid of that workforce, that disables huge amounts of labour that would take out.
You mean
I think about 7 or 8 million jobs out of the US that would just disappear overnight in Trump's fantasy world. You can't take 8 million jobs out of the workforce.
Well, like I think the theory behind it is those jobs would just go to native citizens then.
But there's still so there's 5 million that need a job. First of all, they're not going to take those jobs because they're extremely difficult jobs that nobody wants to be paid crap wages for. And on top of that...
Well, yeah, but think about it, though. If they have to... if they can't find a workforce to do it, then they'll have to raise the wages to incentivize people to work, correct?
Yeah, if they don't get people like illegal immigrants to come up and take those jobs.
Okay,
that means you have to police people to not come
If we
about.
could get rid of this this cheap workforce, then companies will have to pay people decent wages.
Or they could just make things so abysmal and say, like, look, the job's there, you can take it, and then they'll just, they just replace that with the same.
Then they wouldn't be
wages.
making any profit off that by like having this standoff agreement with the workforce and the consumers. They want to make companies usually just want to make profits. If they could make a profit of giving their workers more because they have to make the profit, then they will do it.
Yeah, but that's what.
Nice.
Sure,
Nice.
Jordan, I don't think you
Awesome
can.
addition. No, but what I'm saying is,
I think it just, in terms of economics, though, pure economics, that makes complete sense. If ideally we could get rid of this cheap workforce, then companies will still make a profit off higher wages. They just have no other opportunity.
this is
so
what I'm
they
saying,
have
like,
to hire
ideally
these.
that would be the case. But first
Yes.
of all, it's impossible to get rid of these people anyway. It's complete fantasy that you can extradite. I think we're talking about 30 million people.
No. It's speculated up to 30 million. It's probably more around 11 to 15 million.
Which
mark.
is extremely reasonable.
That's
You could do that overnight.
still a large amount. Some law has to be passed to get rid of, to accelerate due process to actually feasibly get rid of them. It's just it's controlling
I really
the problem.
rejected this idea that you could feasibly get rid of 15 million people out of an economy. And it's just going to be fine overnight. Maybe after a while, these wages might rise a little bit here and there, but still, there would just be another underclass that is paid slightly more because he doesn't even believe in a minimum wage.
Even if we assume it is completely unfeasible, it's still gonna the rate of this underclass is still going to grow unless immigration is controlled.
Yeah.
So that would further to make this underclass even bigger and even drive down wages even more.
Don't you
because
think
it's
that an
larger.
easier way to control and police this underclass would be to make it the minimum wage higher in America and just make it so the government has the resources to track down people that are using illegal aliens.
I think that would be completely a good strategy as well. I think, but prevention would be the best course of action against it by just enforcing the borders, because the way it's working at the moment, it's an absolute joke. Like. You can get into America so easily. You've all seen how...
Robbie's been there.
Thank you. Thanks, Robbie. The cavalry has turned back around and now he's going full force.
Figured out who the enemy is.
Yes.
The war trumpet of Robbie, the meme sound that you hear in very poorly produced rap songs.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
I'm so sorry.
I just had to draw a single tear coming down.
Straight back into his own infantry.
I was like, maybe there's a chance. Like,
There, you're saying
it's the horns of Gondor.
What's Bernie Sanders? Is that his policy?
His policy is amnesty, and do you know you like Bernie more than me?
Well, yeah, there's the part of just making those citizens, just like how the Roman Empire, after 200 years of subjugation, realised it's much better to make everyone a Roman citizen, because then it makes them more productive. They can legally, at that point, apply for business loans and things. And again, the Mexicans are extremely hard-working people. If you're going to sit out there picking tomatoes all day for 2 cents an hour or whatever they get paid, surely you'd want to make them native citizens of the US.
Well,
they're the ones that are going to be working hard and pushing the economy forward, as opposed to these lazy white people that just sit there being like, taking my job, and I don't want to get educated enough to get another one.
All right, that's a little bit of a grotesque caricature. Right?
Ben, sorry.
Keep in mind, it's actually what do you call it? It's actually African Americans who are horribly affected by this. There's been a plethora of studies to show that African Americans are disproportionately affected with employment opportunities because of it. So it's not these white.
Well, just replace the white hick accent with a black accent. Well, you're too scared to do it.
Yes, you can't do that. But that's how the liberals get away with this, because like hate for the this like white underclass is socially acceptable for some reason, even though I think any form of poverty should be.
Don't take this away from us. This is the last bastion we have as comedians to make fun of. You can't get.
I think it's unfair because they're suffering as well. Oh wow, I'm out liberaling you at this moment. The Trump supporter is out liberaling you. This is it's amazing.
Just make fun of all of them.
Yeah, I'm a very confused man.
Sorry, just back to my point. But even if that is true, you'd still have this de facto and even incentivized policy of an open border. Like, if you were just offering amnesty, wouldn't that just incentivize more people to come over to America? And then at that point, you just have all of South America in Northern America. Do you think the economy can sustain naturalizing that many citizens? Like this, they still are all competing for the same low-income jobs.
For an economy, this is, as an environmentalist, I don't agree with this. But economically,
yes,
you need a continual, motivated workforce churning into your country, don't you? Otherwise, it becomes stagnant, like the problem they have in Japan at the moment, where the population just ages.
That is true. But also, it's like in the sense, it's like a balance between like monetary rates as well. Like you need constant money coming into your stream, but then you'll have hyperinflation if you have a beyond the optimal amount.
Yeah, and I think that Bernie Sanders also agrees that you do need to have border protection, border control.
Unfortunately, that's not reflected in his rhetoric or his policies.
It is, though. He's obviously, like, nobody in Washington disagrees that you need to have border protection.
Well, then
this is like an obvious.
Then.
He is enforcing it. This is the misconception that everybody has at the moment. Americans spend hundreds of billions of dollars a year enforcing these borders. It's not this thing of like, we're going to build a wall like the same technology they had in China in like 2,000 years ago. I think it's going to work now.
You can have the rhetoric. You can criticize like how the message is said, but I think there has to be an active measure to prevent it. And I think not removing due process, but editing due process to a degree to disincentivize people from coming over is a legitimate strategy in preventing it.
Okay, so now we really don't have much time, unfortunately, but So we've done foreign policy, we've done economics.
What about Syria or something?
I think you'd both agree with me. I support his like kind of pragmatism, like just let Putin deal with it. Don't go in yourselves.
But what I do disagree with is that he seems to change his opinion on the subject every fucking week.
He does, but I think it's stable that he's just not outwardly antagonistic to Putin, though. He's never been like, fuck Putin, or like, unlike Hillary, whose like mission statement is, I'm going to stand up to Putin. I've done it before. No, I don't. Where was she basing that off anyway? Like, where is she like actively like stand up to Putin?
Especially when they've got footage of her giving gifts to the foreign minister of Russia, like hugging him and stuff. Yeah,
Putin would just,
doesn't seem
on
to be
a
a very
personal
hard
basis, Putin would just destroy her by looking at her differently. Like,
Okay, let's keep this serious, yeah?
Where do you stand on? Where do you stand? So, like, what would be your order of preference? Like, would you go like Trump first, then second, third, third? Like, what would the order be?
Trump and then
Carson.
Trump and like I'll commit suicide. No, I am actually, although I'm critical of Bernie, I like Bernie for ideologically the same reasons why I like Donald Trump. He's just so out of the main established party line, which I think is good.
What about?
I am quite skeptical of his. I think that a single payer system is fantastic, and every country should have that. It's just whether America can afford it at the moment.
Why can't they afford it?
Well, they're in a lot of debt, Jordan. That's the problem.
Yeah,
now,
but it's cheaper to put in a single payer system.
That is good, but it is over a long course of time. Except I don't think it's $6 trillion cheaper over 10 years, and a lot of economists have been incredibly skeptical.
Yeah, but these economists are quite establishment figures. The ones that are really criticising it, that I hear of, that are prominent names, are all ones that worked for the Clinton administration. So of course they're going to say it. Then you've also got a bunch of right-wingers that just disagree with government intervention in Medicare at all. There's a lot of economists on the side.
Jordan,
that say
would you admit that it's speculative, though?
I don't even think it is speculative, because at the moment they're spending 18% of their economy. Fine.
Yeah.
Huge difference. 17. It actually is a huge difference. It is a massive difference. It's huge. It is huge.
We're talking about a large.
Big whoop. Like, a few $100 billion. Anyway, the point is that 17% of their economy is spent on medical procedures and medical insurance at the moment.
Repealing
that is
Obama,
grossly inefficient.
That is because of Obamacare.
That is not because of Obamacare.
It is
that
a
is
lot.
because
Medicaid.
of private. That is because of private investing. That is purely because that there is no public option to say, okay, so medical procedures cost this much. It's just them quoting the government and saying, yeah, I think like a crutch costs $6,000, and then the government has to pay for it because they don't have a system in place in themselves.
I admit
that's crony capitalism at its worst. It's just privatizing the Medicare system.
Okay. Do you have a good response to that, or has he won that?
Has he won that? Oh no! Well, like I'm arguing, I do admit that a single payer system is better. It is completely better. It's just whether America can afford it at this time is the main contention to the issue.
Fair point. Oh, well, sorry, you.
Are we wrapping this up?
Well, no,
I can't afford not to.
I was just going to sort of. So we've covered a few things. I was just going to open up one more question, and then we're going to have a decision as to who wins, and then we'll wrap it up. So basically,
who do we make?
Do I get like a handicap because I'm arguing from a very specific?
No, I think it's a good one. But so basically, the libel laws, as well as something that wasn't brought up. Apparently, Donald Trump is going to open those up so that whoever writes a negative hit piece about him he'll open up the libel laws so we can sue them. Is that who's that? Me. Far out. Sorry.
Jesus, Robbie.
Yeah. Oh man, it's my mum. She's in New Zealand. He goes, I would open up the libel laws so we can sue them and win lots of money. Not like now. These guys are totally protected. Now that I'm assuming that's to do with free speech or something like that, right? What's up with that?
I've glanced over this. As I said, Trump says a lot of things. He has no consistent.
Oh God, you're doing the Bible thing.
Huh?
You're picking and choosing.
No. I'm saying that like what kind of politics he represents is draconianism. Like he doesn't have a consistent ideology. He just looks at people's sentiment and he wants to like fester that folk culture. It's this very Andrew Jackson is the guy it's based off. So he has no consistent ideology that he draws all his proposed things from. He's just effectively espousing sentiment. So when we're looking at his policies, we have to kind of actually look at things he's written down as opposed to said. That's why I'm only analysing his 5 positions, because he, as you said quite rightly, he seems to change his position, except you can there's the only thing that's consistent throughout it is this sentiment, this like America, fuck yeah, we're a nation again kind of sentiment.
He's more of an auteur.
Exactly. So that's his political strategy. So it's hard. I'm not sidestepping the question. I'm just explaining why I don't analyze everything he says seriously. I'm like, whoa, could it work? Because if I did that, I'd have to spend a lot of time to actually do it. And secondly, I don't think he actually necessarily means it at all.
Okay.
So
Fair
this
point.
is something that's virtually a policy of his that. If he had a different position on it, I would support him even over Hillary Clinton, because you can just tell she's insane.
Oh, yeah,
she's got the glaze of a crazy human being.
I think we can all agree Trump over Hillary, right? Or
this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If he had a different policy on climate change, but his policy is it doesn't exist.
Yeah, no, like,
that is outrageous.
I don't think I can. I don't even believe that. So like, I can't really convince you over to my point.
You don't believe in
No,
it?
I do believe in climate change. I'm sorry. I'm saying that. I'm gonna step that to the side. I'm like, he says things. He says it. Yeah, he has his own little beliefs.
But how can you put that man in power, especially at this point?
Well,
2020 is the cutoff year. He'll be in office then.
Oh, well, Hillary wants to bring emissions down by 10%. That's not nearly enough, is it?
That's far better.
Well, it's 10% better.
I don't agree.
It is 10%
that it
better
even
than
exists.
Trump. But, like, it's...
I think we should get rid of all environmental regulations. He's always talking about how he wants to cut the EPA entirely.
Well,
there's going to be no environmental protection policies.
I'm gonna let you have that little battle, all right?
Shouldn't that swing you though quite a bit? In that, why isn't that more of an important point? Like, why do people seem to look at like environmental issues or climate change as being just one of many problems? Like, shouldn't that be one of the most drastic?
It should be incredibly pertinent, but I just don't think there's any other serious candidates that are going to address it to its correct degree.
Bernie Sanders is calling for a moratorium on coal exploration. He's calling for he part of his infrastructure program to kickstart the economy, which we know works from past examples, from past history examples. This has been the only economic foundation that actually works. Is that when the government spends money, the economy flounders the economy thrives as a result of that. Especially when you invest it in things that you need to continue the economy going, such as an infrastructure investment.
His plan for renewable energies, right?
Right, and then on top of that, he's also calling for an emissions trading cap.
Yeah. So is Hillary as well.
Yeah, but this is a serious candidate that actually is actually legitimately a man for the times. Donald Trump is not a man for the times. He is.
Yeah, so I would say he's timeless. Actually,
actually, that's true. Yeah,
he's kind of like a historic. He's like a Napoleonic historic being, in my opinion.
He's like omniscient.
Really good point. I do agree with that. He's
the thing is, like, we can argue of whether Bernie Sanders' policies could work. I believe feasibly, yes, they could work. Whether they could work with the American culture, whether the American people would be comfortable with that drastic shift in culture is another problem. And also, there's a huge problem of the Lavers curve. I mean, like, we could. I think it is completely feasible that a lot of people would just pick up and move overseas, or at least corporate inversion. And corporate inversion is quite hard to enforce because there is a lot of loopholes. I think like a lot of companies are going to shift their revenue over to seas. And
That is the conservative argument to everything, that they're just going to shift their profits overseas.
I think but it is a problem though.
But conservative governments always make it extremely easy for companies to move and shift their profits overseas. They loosen regulation. They put up all these ridiculous
I'm not defending
trade deals.
conservatives because I'm not a conservative. I think that's why people are also disenfranchised with the Republican Party, because they seem to give favors to all these big organizations, which people are outwardly against. And now
on top of this,
fall back
for a workforce, right? When you're talking about access to a workforce, America's is pretty much second to none in terms of their skills and resources there that just aren't available in other countries, right?
Can I just get to another point quite quick? I'll let you finish your point.
Okay. So the thing is, especially when the rest of the world is taking climate change extremely seriously at this point, apart from us and the US, that's pretty much it. And America under Obama has taken climate change seriously. It's just that the Supreme Court blocks him at every path. But there is no way for them to really escape to in the developed world that will allow them to continue to act in an unresponsible environmental manner. There would definitely be some environmental restrictions on all of them, unless they went to developing nations, but then they don't have access to the resources that they need as a global corporation. You have to.
Okay, I'm sorry. We've got to get out of here. So I will stop this and say closing statement from Ben in regards to his support, and closing statement from Jordan, and then I'll say who won, and then we'll go. So, Ben?
There's superficial reasons to like and dislike Trump.
Quickly.
The superficial reasons to like and dislike Trump. I think we have to kind of look past those superficial reasons and analyze his policies. And I think his immigration policy is actually a very good policy and something that should be seriously considered without the stigma of the unfortunateness that is kind of racialist and stuff like that. I think we can move a little bit past that. Also, in terms, I think Bernie, while Bernie does seem, while it is plausible his policies could work, Bernie is no longer a really viable candidate. The superdelegates would never actually elect him in. So it's de facto between Hillary and Donald Trump at the moment. So it's who do you want? At the moment, is it Trump or Hillary? And I'm hoping to, show the Bernie supporters that Trump isn't that bad, and just come on over here, and we'll make America great again.
Interesting, Jordan.
Okay, again, when Donald Trump got up and said to an audience of 20,000 people, "I've got the biggest vocabulary. I know the best words." Do you really want that man head of the free world? That is a level of judgment character that has to be addressed. Somebody who says, "I know the best words" when talking about vocabulary, that cannot be an intelligent human being.
Okay, he's got you there, Ben. Unfortunately, although
he just removed my first statement and that superficial reasons to like and dislike.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we've got. Thank you very much, Ben, for coming in. Really appreciate it.
But yeah, I love this.
Listening to the 50th episode of the Friendlyjordies podcast.
Yeah, this was really great. Thanks, Ben. We need to do more of these things. So if you like this kind of stuff,
hit that like.
Or just comment saying more serious shit, please. And then
I wonder how many hate comments I'll get. Like, this guy doesn't know shit.
No, not many.
I reckon it was actually like a really well-weighted debate, and it was good.
Thanks for Ben being here. Thanks for Jordan.
No worries. I always am anyway.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah, thanks.
And Carolyn is here as well. She's from Pedestrian.
Thank you very much for your input on the Aziz debate.
And goodbye.
Play us out, Robbie.
And the answer to this week's Who Am I is... No.